Welcome, everyone.
Where we going?
We're live right now. Joe and Mike back from buildassetsonline.com. Crazy, crazy topic today. How to market a fiction book in 2020. When Mike stops banging on his desk, we're going to tell you
Sorry,
how
I'm gonna keep my hands up here the whole time.
we're going to tell you how you can get a book in the top 100 of the entire Kindle store, which we've done. And when you do that, it's crazy what happens. The downloads keep coming, the page reads keep coming. It's absolutely insane. You get a ton of email subscribers. So we're gonna tell you how to get to that top 100 today.
Yeah, and even if you can't make top 100 in the entire Kindle store, which the steps are going to be the same, but even applying this a little bit should grant you top 100 in your genre, top 100 in romance, because you don't want to always be top 100 in the Kindle store, and we'll talk about that.
Well, I mean, you always want to be, but it's not always possible.
You want to be, is it worth it?
Exactly.
Is it worth the price?
Yeah, it could not be worth it. But real quick announcement before we get into the main part of the presentation. Let them know what's going on, Mike.
Hold on. I'm not caught up. I don't know where you're at. So, long story short, the Build Assets Online membership that we have now switched over to, you get all of our courses, Instant E-commerce Asset, which is a dropshipping course, Passive Publishing Profits, the Kindle course, Blog Blast Off, the blogging course, all for $250 a month right now. And that's going to be gone on the 30th. So that's like 2 days away. Yeah. So if you want to claim your spot there, certainly do that. But also, right after this call, inside the membership, we're going to have Kindle office hours. So if you're already in the group, great. We'll talk about that. You can ask any of your questions on a call. But if you're not, then and you're interested, you can sign up and join in time for the call. So
yeah, fantastic. So
that's it. If you're in the chat right now, say what's up, say hello.
Yeah. So we have an acronym for today, and just to let you guys know, if you're new to the channel, new to the show, we're doing this from the perspective. I'm eating as I'm talking, but don't worry, it's relevant to the show. So we're doing this from the perspective of publishers. Mike and I are not writers. We don't actually write our books, but this stuff applies whether you're a writer or a publisher. It doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, Mike, you've helped struggling writers who were, kind of grinding out books and really struggling to make any money online, make any money publishing online. And as a publisher, you gave them kind of your perspective, and now some of the people that you helped are absolutely crushing it, as far as I understand. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Because writing is only one part of the story. Everyone thinks that they're going to write this book and they're going to put it out and just magically, Lifetime's going to see it. They're going to make a Hallmark film about it. It's going to be top 100 in the Kindle store. And it never happens like that. And the main reason is they're not focusing on marketing. Marketing is literally everything. Nowadays, more independent publishers, more independent writers are able to achieve success and make good livings for themselves than ever before with the rise of Amazon and, the possibility for exposure. But even one of, our mom's good friends was actually a writer, and he had what I believe was a best-selling book in some regard. It was a best-selling fiction book. And so, he published one book. It did really well, but it didn't do as good as it could. And so he came to us before we even really knew what we were doing. He knew that we were doing stuff online. And he said, I put out this book, but I think the publishing company screwed me because they didn't change my title. So he acknowledged that writers are not good with coming up with the marketing aspects, and titles are certainly a part of that. And yeah, if the publishing company had marketed the book better, it could have been a huge success, even bigger success than it already was.
Yes. So why was I eating during the start of this? Because our acronym for today is FATTY, FATTY. And this actually has a lot to do this acronym is going to tell you how to market your fiction book. So, should we get right into it? The F.
We can start. It should also be known that Joe and I would call each other fatty as kids growing up.
Yeah.
So
And
that's what Joe used to look like.
actually, that's kind of what you used to look like when you had your allergic reactions. You'd puff up like a little snowman.
So this is all true, and so I think we have a right to use this acronym. So
Yeah.
let's jump right in.
Cool. So F for Facebook faucet style traffic source. I don't even know what you mean by this, Mike. So you made this deck. Explain, what does this mean?
What do you think I mean?
Oh, duh. Faucet. I was thinking of a faucet like it drips. So when you say Facebook / faucet style traffic source, you're referring to a traffic source that you can turn on and off at will, like a faucet.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Facebook is one of those traffic sources, obviously, because you throw up an ad within 24 hours, usually much sooner, you get that ad approved, and then all of a sudden your book or whatever is in front of a near like unlimited audience. I don't want to say unlimited, but a pretty big audience, depending on your genre. You should be able to target a nice chunk of people. So this is really important because the Amazon algorithm relies on people buying the book. And if you just publish a book, and within a certain time frame, so if you just publish a book, the more people, and no one buys it, and it's just sitting there, it's just basically going to do nothing. Some people will buy it, and you're going to get a little few sales here and there, but when it comes out and then a bunch of people buy it all within a short time frame, especially when it first comes out, that's going to push the book higher and higher in the rankings on Amazon, and then that's going to get more organic exposure on Amazon from people just browsing the store looking for something to read, and it's going to be this kind of a reinforcing thing where you get even more traffic, you get even more email subscribers, and you make even more money, essentially.
Yeah, and you're honestly skipping ahead a little bit because obviously how it all works together. But with Facebook, it doesn't have to be Facebook, of course. I think it is the best faucet-style traffic source when it comes to publishing. If someone disagrees, feel free to let us know what they think is better. I would love to test it out and use it. But with Facebook, you can go directly into their audiences, pick out people that have Kindles or their readers, whatever. You can target authors. And just with this alone, and say like good on page, so your cover's legit, your description's legit, you can force a top 100 ranking just through this method. And this is not something I'd recommend because it could be pretty expensive to do that. But the point is that using faucet style traffic, where all of a sudden you can send a large amount of relevant visitors to your page on Amazon, will have a very, very, very strong impact on your rankings. Obviously, it has to convert well, but this alone will have a huge impact.
Yeah. So we actually got a question in the chat. I think we can answer it now just because it's relevant to the F. Jane Doe asks, do you mean run your Facebook ads to your Amazon listing? Yes, that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah, and so that's for the purpose of, again, just trying to have an immediate impact on your sales rank. Of course, you can then go and recycle this audience. So you're spending all this money, showing up in front of an audience, generating these clicks to Amazon. You can pixel those people and then retarget them later to get them onto your email list, or just have them as a separate audience in Facebook. So, add clickers, and you can keep recycling that audience. So you get better and better results. But that's what we're referring to, sending them directly to the Amazon listing when you launch a book.
Yeah, cool. So next step in the A in fatty, algorithm timing, audience response / Amazon organic. And I kind of revealed this because, like you said, I kind of knew what was going on here. But this is actually very important because timing on a book release is really everything.
There's actually all these aren't three separate A's. This all kind of plays into itself. So if you haven't published a book on Amazon before, or maybe you're not really aware of this, when you publish a book on Amazon, no matter if it's fiction, no matter if it's nonfiction, there's a particular window when you hit publish and it goes live that Amazon is going to give it special treatment in their algorithm. So any initial buys, traffic, whatever it is, downloads that happen during this particular phase, which I believe at this moment is, say, the first 5 days of release, maybe even the first 3 days or 2 days, it's going to have a much bigger impact on your ranking. It's going to be much easier to go from wherever you start out at to, well, technically you have no rank, but say after 4 hours or 24 hours, your book's at 50,000. In 48 hours, then you can bring that book down to a top 100 rank easily. If you wait a week, if you wait 2 weeks, you're going to have a much harder time moving the needle on the sales rank because Amazon will already have data on how well your book performs, and it's going to be just more of an uphill battle.
Yeah.
But also, audience response, this also impacts the algorithm because, like Joe said, you're running the Facebook traffic, and the more people that go to the page and more people that buy, then the rank is going to rise. The algorithm is going to reward it. And so audience response is super important because if you're driving irrelevant traffic, or it's a book that for some reason the cover sucks, the description sucks, and the conversion rate is bad on the page, it's not going to have as substantial of an impact on the algorithm. And with that being said, if it doesn't have a good impact on the algorithm because it doesn't convert well, there's going to be less reason for Amazon to show it to all the organic visitors that are browsing through the Kindle store at that moment.
Yeah. So well said. I think we kind of covered that one pretty well. You got to time it on your really on the launch. Basically, that's about it. And that's why I think it's important that if you're going to get into this, it's important that you kind of keep publishing. So a lot of people kind of want to write their book. By the way, when you put that cup down, it's amazing. Echo.
Oh, sorry.
So a lot of people want to kind of write one book, write their masterpiece, and kind of be done with it. But in terms of like making a living doing publishing, that's not really sustainable because the market is hungry. Like, it's very unlikely that you're going to have just one book and that book is just going to be a hit and it's going to just crush it forever and ever and ever, and you're going to make a living off that. Now, don't get us wrong. We have books that make us money pretty much indefinitely, but you also need like a back catalog of many books in order to kind of get everything where it should be. And that's why it's
Beat the beast.
Yeah. A lot of people want to say, "Oh, I'm going to write my masterpiece," and that's it. You got to get out of that frame of mind. I guess more into a publisher / marketing frame of mind, more into a business frame of mind. So, next step, the first T in Fatty, is to tell your email list a lot. And you stressed a lot here, Mike. Why is that?
Because one of the biggest questions we get is, how often do I email? And there's no direct answer for any of this, but this is a question that I certainly had for many years of doing online marketing. And the answer is really as much as you possibly can. So I was at times scared to email my list, whether that was Kindle or any other list that I had. Maybe it was a dropshipping list before I was doing a lot of build assets online stuff. But you come to realize the more that you email, the more people respond. Why is that? Because they're actually getting to know you. People think that they're bothering somebody by sending daily emails. They're signing up to your list. If they have a problem, then they should unsubscribe. And what's going to happen is you want to show up more in front of the people that don't mind getting daily emails, especially with the fiction audience. These people are ravenous for more content. So if you're not constantly in their face, giving them more content, and not in an obtrusive way, not in a spammy way, but just showing up. Think about Instagram these days. I actually was thinking about this the other day. People would be scared to email every day. Meanwhile, you go on Instagram and you look at the stories, people are posting like 100 stories in a day. And the more that people post, the more followers they get, the more engagement they get. So I think this idea of emailing too much is just nonsense. People enjoy more exposure. People enjoy hearing from you if they like you. So,
Yeah.
what were you going to say?
No, I think you really hit the nail on the head. I can't even tell you how many times we sign up for an email list, and sometimes I'll see the emails hitting the inbox, and I won't read it. I'll forget about it for a long time, and then all of a sudden one day I see an email that catches my interest, and then I read that, and then all of a sudden I'm reading all their emails. And I've definitely gone through.
Absolutely.
I've definitely gone through phases of this with different people whose email lists we've signed up for, and so yeah, I mean, don't be afraid to email a lot. Unless you're doing it in an annoying way, people shouldn't be getting annoyed.
Absolutely. And so this means at least daily when you launch a book, if not more than daily. And when it comes down to what do I write as an email, I think Ben Settle is the king of this. So you should check out his content if you want to actually learn creative ways to keep things interesting with email.
Yeah, this is something I think we need to actually after we close this Elite Fleet round, after we close the membership, I think this is something we should add a lesson or two about to the course. Definitely, just some.
I think like a separate course in itself, just like a small general email marketing course.
Yeah, I think we're definitely gonna kind of. Yeah, no, I think you're right, and I think eventually we'll probably launch. Getting off topic here, probably launch a personal brand course as well, or kind of teaching you what we do here at Build Assets Online. Certainly we're not the utmost authority on it, but we do pretty well with this given our small audience size, and I think we're getting to the point where we're narrowing it down and narrowing in on a formula that we can share with others, because we're kind of shooting in the dark up until this well, eventually we'll have a formula basically. So the next T in Fatty, 10x. Well, now I don't know how much we want to get into the history, Mike. We said we were going to save this for another lesson, but 10x in the Kindle universe has a loaded.
I didn't even think about that.
This has a loaded meaning, because back in the day, when people were talking about the 10x method, made famous by Dave Koziel, this was kind of a black hat thing to do, and we're not going to recommend that method. What do you mean by this?
I was referring to the book 10x by Grant Cardone, which of course led to the course by Dave Koziel, which is 10x your page reads, which led to a lot of trouble in the Kindle world. This is not what I was referring to at all, actually. I did it. I've erased that from my memory completely. But what I do mean is with Kindle, the formula for scaling is actually really straightforward, right? If you're publishing one book a month and your list size is 10,000 people, whatever you're doing, whatever your metrics are with publishing, there is such a simple copy paste formula. You need to do what you need to do to 10x. So if you have 10 books out and they're, X amount of pages long altogether, you can shoot for 10xing your page reads by increasing the number of pages you have available in your library, right? So you can do that with box sets. You can do that with putting out more books. You have your list. You can work on doubling your list and then doubling that. And now you're sending 10x the traffic to your book. You have 10x the catalog. And this is really how you scale. And since Kindle is so passive in terms of nobody's calling you saying, well, my book didn't download, or everything. That's all handled by Amazon. So there is nothing in your way to slow you down in that regard. It's just a matter of publishing more books.
Yeah, those people might call Amazon if they're having some technical issues, but you don't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Jeff will handle that. Don't worry.
It's gonna go right to Jeff.
All right. So the Y in Fatty is Yahtzee. Roll the dice. What do you mean by this, Mike? Because I'm kind of clueless.
So have you ever played the game Yahtzee?
Not really. It's kind of like luck based, right?
It is luck based, but the point I wanted to get at was Yahtzee is the board game where you roll a dice, and then sometimes you roll all sixes, sometimes you roll twos. And so Kindle publishing is actually kind of the same thing, where you're taking different combinations. So you're doing this logically and with reason by studying the marketplace, studying trends, and you're putting out books. So what you're honestly doing is you're testing. Every single book is a test. It's a test of how good your cover is, how good your description is, how good your book is, the emails you sent out. And so every book, every launch is essentially a roll of the dice. So I'm not saying that it's necessarily luck, but you're going to get a different outcome each time to some degree. And so what's happening over time is you look and you say, oh, when I put out this book, it actually did really, really well. So the next thing that I put out, I'm going to try and copy from myself exactly what worked. So you're going to look at the emails you sent out. You're going to emulate those emails in terms of even the subjects. Like, was there something specific you put in a subject that had a really good click-through rate? You're going to try that again. See if it gets similar results. You're going to do a similar format with the description. You're going to do a similar format with the covers. And you're, again, rolling the dice, seeing how that works. And over the time, it's a refinement process.
Yeah, that's what a lot of
Does that
people.
make sense?
Absolutely, and that's what a lot of people don't realize about online business in general is that even if you're experienced, even if you've been doing it a while, you're always kind of rolling the dice and seeing what's going to work, and then repeating that if it works and scrapping it if it doesn't work. In everything, that's always happening. And so you have to get in that frame of mind where you're just always willing to roll the dice, throw stuff at the wall, and see what sticks. But the important part in all of that is that you actually keep doing it. Because if you don't keep doing it, you don't keep rolling, you're never gonna hit that thing, whatever. And it's like that. I'm gonna read this book soon, but that book, Fooled by Randomness, by what's his name, Nassim Taleb or something.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Is that a book that he has?
Yeah, it's kind of like that principle. Whereas you just keep doing something that has a potentially high return. Once that random event does happen and you get that high return, it makes it seem like it was all worth it. I'm doing a bad job summarizing the concept, but that's what we're doing here. So
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of this stuff is similar to what we talk about for any internet marketing thing, but Kindle is very much unique in that you're launching your own product, and every time you put something out, it's a test, and your score comes back and in terms of how well you understand Kindle publishing and how well you understand marketing. So if we ever put out something and it flops, it's not like we lose money on it, but we make less money than, say, a different book. And so you go back to the drawing board. You say, okay, what happened this time? Why didn't this work? You look at your emails. You look at the budget. And so it is actually very scientific, but the creation of the books themselves are also kind of an art form.
yeah. So that's the end of the presentation. Hope you guys learned something. As we have some questions in the chat. Moses asks, I assumed Facebook was a dying marketing pool. I mean, we don't really like it, but it's still the best for Kindle publishing and for getting those algorithm boosts on Amazon. It's not our
Yeah,
favorite, but yeah.
I alluded to this earlier in that fiction readers are very obsessive or very obsessed with reading more books with maybe a different audience. So, the AliExpress stuff or even internet marketing, everyone kind of runs the same ads, the same videos, all that. With fiction, that actually is better because people want to keep reading more books. It's only 99 cents or even free to download. Um, so yeah, it's more of a renewable audience. It doesn't like get disinterested, whereas not everybody's going to respond to every single internet marketing webinar that comes up in front of them.
Yeah, yeah. Also, you get the benefit of kind of the double thing that happens when. So if they go from a Facebook ad to your book, and they download the book and they read the book, you make money off the page reads or the download, which helps pay for the ad cost, and then that download and page reads also boosted in the Amazon algorithm, which gets you more downloads and page reads. So it's kind of um, double effective in that regard. So,
Absolutely.
Kurt Knoll, does setting up a pre-order affect the 5-day window?
That's a good question, Kurt. To my knowledge right now, the answer is no. Amazon, I think, likes the pre-orders because it allows it to, you can come out of the gate with a sales ranking, right? So when you publish a new book regularly without pre-order, it goes live onto the marketplace and it has no sales. With pre-order, people can obviously order the book before it even goes live. So the algorithm starts once the book goes live, and it can start out of the gate at 2000. And so, like we said before, you have that little window when you publish the book, when it goes live, that you can really, really impact the sales rank. So that's definitely, definitely something to take into consideration. I know people that really use and lean into pre-orders, and they say that it helps a lot. I'm testing it right now, but I think in the end, if you're not going to do pre-orders, you just need to be careful as to making sure when you launch, you have the Facebook ads going, you have the swaps going, or the email list marketing and stuff like that.
Cool. Jane Doe asks, does the podcast work well for course sales?
I don't know.
I mean, this is really the only form of marketing that we do. So, yeah, it's working pretty good.
You can keep reading.
Is there a budget for Facebook we should consider before seeing results? Like, could we target a super cheap country to advertise to and help get cheap sales? Absolutely not, because if you target a cheap country, and even if they have an Amazon, like, they're most likely gonna buy from their region. And so, like, say you target like India or something, and well, is there an Indian Amazon?
There is.
There is. Yeah. So your book will be on Amazon India or whatever. But say you target them, then people in India buy the book. It's just going to help boost it on the Indian Amazon. That's not going to help you.
We're talking about the U.S. Amazon Kindle store. And so even if you're not in the U.S., you have the ability to publish to that store. I know people in India, I believe, that were consistent top 100 authors. I know people in Canada, all across the world, Australia. Anyone can sell in the U.S. So we're talking about targeting U.S. Kindle customers with Facebook. And in terms of budget, I would say you shouldn't be throwing money into Facebook without seeing a result. So I would say maybe try doing stuff with a very, very low Facebook budget in the beginning. And then once you actually are getting feedback on the books you're putting out, because like I was saying before, if the books you're putting out are garbage and the covers are bad and the descriptions are bad, then sending Facebook traffic isn't really going to be that good. So dial in on everything else first. And then once you have that feedback, you can send more Facebook traffic. But ideally, you don't really want to be losing money.
Kurt Knoll asks, well, I think the important thing with, I think it's good to just get started. Like, even if, like Mike said, don't lose money, but I say don't be afraid to spend like $5 a day when you're first getting started to see, because I think a low amount, like $5 per day, if you don't have a big email list, can easily get you from, like, it's going to make a huge difference. Like, if your ranking is like 50,000, like to go from 50,000 to like 5,000 is like super easy compared to 5,000 to 1,000, and then even worse, 1,000 to 100. So that said, I think don't be afraid to start testing and spending a little bit of money early on just to get your feet wet, because I think once you have a big enough back catalog and you want to start spending more, and you know that you basically want to, over multiple launches, kind of get the feel for, okay, if I do this, it's going to return this, and you know what audiences to target. So I think it's better.
And you're building up your own audience.
Yeah, exactly.
Along the way.
Yeah, and we show you in our Kindle course how to do this with. You can't use the Facebook pixel directly, but we use a special service to do that. Okay, so we have to actually have another question. How many buys / page reads did you get for the first few days you reached the top 100?
Aha, not that many, because page reads take a very long time to report. In terms of buys, I'll have to go and check. Usually, I'd say if you can get 1,000 buys in like a 24-hour promotional window, that'll get you into the top 100 of romance, and you could crack top 100 Kindle maybe. I think actually the first time we got to the top 100, we didn't even get into it during the initial launch. We got to 100 something in the entire store, so we were top 100 romance. But then what happens is, as page reads start to kick in, the page reads, as people are reading the book, boost your ranking, because it's showing Amazon, hey, a lot of people are actually reading through the book. So now we call this getting swept back up in the algorithm. So when that happened, that's when we got swept back up, and then we got to like, I think it was like top 50, close to 50. I don't know. But yeah, so I don't know. It's hard to say. Like I said, I think if you can get over 1,000 buys in 24 hours, then you have a good chance of getting into the top 100.
Yeah. So if you want to learn how to do this, we're offering basically, so if this is your first time listening and you don't know what we do, Mike and I, as the name implies, we build assets online. So we have e-commerce dropshipping websites that consistently make money for us. We've sold a few of those websites. We do Kindle publishing fiction, makes the most passive income in our portfolio. We publish blog sites using SEO as the main traffic source. And we make money from showing display ads, from affiliate marketing, stuff like that. And we basically teach you how to do it all in our Elite Fleet Plus, buildassetsonline.com/membership. If you want to check it out, closing in the next 2 days, actually, less than 2 days. It's, I think, honestly, the best online business education that you can invest in right now.
Absolutely. And Joe, we have a blog that is entirely set up for our Kindle stuff. Is that right?
We do. And I was thinking, so I was actually looking at that today, and I was thinking that one of our main keywords that I think could be good for lead gen kind of dropped off. The blog, makes a good amount of money, generates some leads, but I think I haven't actually I think I should look at that and kind of do some work on it and focus on ranking some of the more important keywords and looking at some others and really dial in on the lead gen, because right now it makes money in a lot of different ways. We kind of said it. It's kind of funny. We kind of said it. I think it makes probably close to 1,000 extra per month, just through ads and affiliate links. Maybe a little less. It depends. But yeah, I think there's more that can be done with it. I was just thinking about that today, actually.
Yeah, we haven't talked about it in a while, which is also what's great about blogging, is that you can really just set it and forget it. And so I'm sure it also brings us Kindle sales, and it also helps build our list, all sorts of things. And people don't realize when you go to sell something, when we go to sell our Kindle publishing business, if we ever do that, then we have this website that's also associated with it that brings in diversified form of traffic. So now our multiple just went up. As DJ Khaled would say, my price just went up. Oh,
Yeah.
that's what's great about this, because no one else, not to toot our own horns, Joe, no one else is teaching all these things together. I don't know what you just did. I can't see you.
I just tooted the
That's
horn.
pretty good.
Wait. There we go.
That's good.
I just tooted the horn. So yeah, Dave, yeah, it's all connected basically. The e-commerce, the blogging, the Kindle publishing, everything we do is online business 101, and that's what we teach you to do. It's not, we try and stay away from gimmicky stuff and whatever. Just we focus on all the skills and tactics that you need to build a stable income online. David Williams asks, how is the UK store going? Good question. Not well, because, well, we do actually have partnership in a UK store that's doing really well. But the one that we originally started, well, we never got that off the ground because we got hit with the new normal just as we were about to get in there. But we were talking about getting back onto that. But we are making money in the UK with dropshipping.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we gotta that our UK store is we're working on it. Don't worry. But Tom Hunter said, "Hey, what's the next course, guys? We're going to do a bit of land investing." That's not going to be the next course, and any other course that we make will be within the membership, kind of like we talked about earlier in the video. We'll probably make an email marketing course. I don't know what else we said, but everything kind of fits together. So I don't know if there's a point to selling stuff individually. It's better experience for our people to just kind of put it all in one place. In terms of land investing, I would love to make a course on that, but I'm just not that good at it yet. So maybe at the end of the year, we'll make a video talking about the land results after the first year, but we're not there yet. People do ask us land questions in the membership, though.
Yeah. For now, if you're interested in getting into land, just go. We recommend Land Academy. Coupon code BAO, all caps. You get 50% off. So.
Yeah. Speaking of which, there is a tool within Land Academy that we actually use for solving a lot of dropshipping fraud issues. So that's going to probably make a course video very soon on how to stop fraud in its tracks without paying for
Oh wow, Mike,
these, fraud prevention apps.
what
happened?
We just got an elite fleet sale from one of our longtime viewers. Dion, ring the bell. Wait.
Blow the horn.
Hold on. Wow, Dion's been a
What the hell did you just do?
I don't know. I pulled up a video on YouTube. Dion's been a longtime viewer, and now he's an Elite Fleet member. Congrats.
Congrats, Dion. We should play a Kevin Zhang ad for every sale we make.
God, these sound effects on YouTube are terrible. Let me see.
You gotta blow the horn.
I think I gotta look for like a DJ.
No, just do what you did before.
Oh. Congrats, Dion.
All right.
Well, it's been fun, guys.
Yeah, so we're gonna hop into Kindle office hours after this. So if you're watching, you're in the group, stay tuned. I'll get you the instructions on that. If not, join the group and you can listen in.
All right. Well, we're out.
Thank you, guys. Take it easy.